That's excusable. You don't live here. There are people that live here that get it wrong on quiz shows, so don't feel bad. Seems to be taking forever to get round to the river this morning. And here we go. Sure enough, there's the delay. Maybe I should be in the faster lane. I don't know. Maybe I will do. Are you nipping around me like this? I don't know. At least he let me go though. Didn't want to get too nippy. I better thank him for that. For not being too aggressive when clearly he was ready to be. So we're going uphill. I haven't got my famous what's it on? GPS. Yes. You are over the speed limit. Definitely going uphill. The A13 was back there. I don't really like Essex much. Sorry, Nigel, if you're listening, but it's just because I've got some memories of clean away in landfill and things like that. They're not great memories. So Alan Heath would have been around these parts when I was last back in Poland. Of course, when I come over here, Alan Heath is in Poland. Probably when I get to Poland, he'll be somewhere else. So the actual times I get to see him and that and do a film together with him for your delight, it seems to be rarer and rarer. Old Alan got his mobile home.
Now.
Yes, I must pay now.
Wow.
Remember, when we came through the other way at night, it says this, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. everything's free, everything goes free.
Last time
Yeah.
we go.
But only motorcycles are free during the day, cars are too. Lost time? Yes, it does lose time.
Yes, you don't pay. Now you pay.
Yeah, oh, last time.
Last time.
Yes, I think you lose time by paying, but last time, no, it was the night, you see, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. or something, you don't need to pay. And then between, in daylight hours or daytime, you have to pay. Oh, yeah. Oh. It gets quite tall, doesn't it? I wouldn't have liked to have been up on that during the storm of St. Jude or whatever it is. A bit foggy as well today. We won't get a very nice view. That's a pity.
Oh, it's not bridge. No. It's bridge now.
Yeah. Imagine being up here in really strong wind. Actually, I don't know whether 100 miles an hour is really a strong wind, but one of these days we're going to see 300-mile-an-hour winds, and what happens then? How tall is it? What do you mean, to the top of the pillar, or where the road? How tall the road is? Well, from the river is about sea level at this point, not far, about half a metre above sea level. So if you can take the the river as sea level, I would call this, or what would you call it, boys and girls? How high is the road above sea level? I think it's about 40 metres. I think it's about 40 metres. But
It's like a 20 or 25 floor.
yeah, it's like being up on about the 25th floor. Yeah, maybe it's about the 25th floor, which is more than 40 metres, isn't it? Because you need more than 1.5 metres. Yeah, certainly higher than, I don't know if it's the 25th floor, but it's certainly pretty high. Let's say that it was like the 20th floor, and that you need 3 metres per floor, or maybe 4 metres per floor. Yeah, it's more like, it's over 50 metres then, isn't it? Yeah, probably by the time we get to the middle it'll be over 50 metres. It's pretty high. You certainly wouldn't want to fall off it. And there's not much of a barrier there on the side. You can imagine something big ramming into that, it would go straight over the side and fall right the way down. So we've got some nice boats. You see more water here than you will at the tunnel, in the channel, because the tunnel stops well before the sea and comes out well after the sea on the other end. So this is this and the Rhine are all the big waters that you see. The Thames, you're crossing the Thames. Later we cross the Rhine. Congestion, stay in lane. Good advice. What else do we cross in terms of larger rivers? The Elbe. We cross the Oder River. Cross the Warta River around Warsaw, around Poznan, pardon me. But actually, on the motorway there, you just don't even notice crossing the Warta. We noticed crossing the Warta when we came, but it was in flood. Strangely, and it was like a lake. It just looked like big lakes on either side of the motorway. That's what the Warta looks like often around that area, so it didn't look unusual. And the same spaces look like fields at other times, and cows come back on and eat the grass. Pardon me? River is what? Fast?
Oh, yes, it's fast.
It's tidal. It's a tidal river at this point, so it goes backwards and forwards. About a kilometre of water goes backwards and forwards up and down the river. No, more than a kilometre. Well, it's tidal actually. You know, this is tidal even into central London. It's tidal. It goes backwards and forwards. So there's actually times when it doesn't flow down, it's flowing back up again. So certainly at this point, I think even past the Thames barrier, it's still tidal. At this point, it's absolutely tidal, and the water down there is brackish water. Yeah, that means it's part salt and part fresh, which some fish do like a lot. Actually, pike, for example. Pike.
I remember.
Yeah.
We go here last time.
Yes. No, I mean not last time was yesterday. Yeah.
No, yesterday.
No, I never yesterday. I mean, last time was coming here.
Yes.
That's going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, in order to find my money for the thingy for the toll, I'll switch it off. Well, it needs £2, my dear. Yeah, if you've got a £2 coin, that would go down a treat. Because otherwise, I've got to try and look through my pockets while I'm driving. It's not an easy thing to do. In my case, at any rate. Oh, that's that nice purse from Beijing that I got for you. £2 coin. The £2 coin is the big one. That's £1. That's made out of two 50p pieces. What the heck is that?
I don't have.
Be prepared, 50p, 19,
I have.
1907. Can't believe it. To 2007. Oh, I see. It's the
Okay.
Cubs,
I
Boy
don't
Scouts
have anymore.
things. You don't have any more. Will you hold it for a second,
Right?
and I'll see what I can dredge out of my pockets.
You see? I have new cards, library cards.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Немножко постояла, поговорила, она заполняла.
I see.
И заполняла.
But why bother to do it when you're not going to be here? That's a £2. That's a £2 coin.
И она
Looks
нашла,
like a euro coin.
нашла это по Софьиным данным и по твоему отцу Брайан Джеймс.
I see. He nipped in there in front of me. It might be you that has to pay the money, you know, because it's I'm on the wrong side.
Oh dear.
I think this guy knows what he's up to. He knows that that lane ends up ends up turning into two lanes. He's not boxing his options by staying in the middle and not deciding yet which of the two lanes he's going to be in. But when that guy goes around that thing, I think this guy knows what he's up to, you see. That's why I'm going to follow him and do what he does. Oh, he's turned off into that one. He's turned off into that one. That's made him, he's still not decided one way or the other. He's probably gonna, this is him deliberately blocking the rest after he's already decided. So I'm in here, I'm back in charge of him again. You probably have to put the money in. So yes, you have to put the money in. £2 only, it says. Or £2 cars only. So you need to, I'll do it slowly, yeah? But you probably need to put money into something that's like a receptacle. See what they're doing?
Here. You have money?
Yes. You see how it's doing, but do it carefully, yeah? Because otherwise I have to get out and sort it
Не
out.
сюда бросить.
Yeah, into the basket.
Here.
Yes. Yes, works. Okay, well done. Well thrown. Okay, well done. Right, that was the fun. That was the fun. So, yeah, I don't want to make a long thingy now. I want this to last through different parts of the trip. You can see we just did Essex. We're now in Kent. We did pretty much most of Essex on the film, and yeah, this is Kent, the Garden of England, and at the moment the garden seems to be being watered. We've certainly got rain for this part of the journey. Hopefully it will subside. It's going to make for a longer and less pleasant journey anyway if it keeps going. But what can you say? It's almost inevitable that you're going to get some rain. I'm just glad that, yeah, I'm just glad that we didn't get, that we don't have that storm now on the day that we're leaving. Otherwise it would have been quite difficult to get down to the port, down to the tunnel rather. It would have been a toughie in hurricane force winds, or even driving through Europe in that kind of thing. So the timing of that all turned out pretty well for me, because it even got me an extra night in the hotel, Hilton. So yeah. And there was unfortunately a tragedy that somebody died, but I think a few people died, but could of course have been an awful lot more, and if you ended up getting winds that weren't 100 mile an hour but 300 miles an hour, I can imagine that a lot of things that have been built in this country just would start to peel away, you know, just peel away. Just about everything would be blown over. It would take months and months to put things right again in terms of infrastructure, and the burial of dead after a 300 mile an hour wind would probably be as well. You know, it'd be a case of, you know, there'd be national mourning. There'd be so many dead that it would be a case of national mourning. I don't know whether it would be hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands. If it got to 300 miles an hour, it might even be hundreds of thousands. Because you know, the question is, imagine you're faced with that and suddenly your house disappears and other people's houses are blowing around. What do you do? Where are you going to shelter from it? The only place where you can go is into something underground, like into the Channel Tunnel or the basement of a building if it's got a basement. Right down into the basement, and then hope that you don't get trapped in by the rubble of the building collapsing above you.
That's 58 kilometers or mile?
80 kilometres has happened, and we've got another 80 to go, I think, to the tunnel. Yes, definitely. There's no kilometres here. It's all miles. On the if you're talking about the signs on the road in England, it's all miles. Unfortunately, they just keep it miles. It would be a bit confusing if they had both.